What if the perfect TV dads you watched growing up were hiding lives no one knew about? Behind the wholesome smiles, family sitcoms, and fatherly advice, some of classic television's most beloved stars were secretly living double lives in Hollywood. At a time when revealing the truth could destroy a career, these actors kept their real relationships hidden from fans and studios alike. Today, we're uncovering 15 classic TV dads who quietly hid their secret gay lives while playing America's favorite fathers on screen. Robert Reed, The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch made Robert Reed one of America's most recognizable television fathers. As Mike Brady, he portrayed the calm, wise dad guiding a large blended family through everyday life. But behind the scenes, Reed lived a very different reality. During the 1960s and 70s, Hollywood was far from accepting of openly gay actors, especially those playing traditional father roles. Reed reportedly kept his sexuality extremely private to protect his career and the image the network wanted for the show. Many of his close friends knew the truth, but it remained hidden from the public for years. Despite the secrecy, Reed was respected as a talented actor and director. His story reflects the pressures many classic TV stars faced when their real lives didn't match Hollywood's expectations. Jim Nabors, Gomer Pyle, USMC. Best known for playing the lovable and naive Marine in Gomer Pyle, USMC, Jim Nabors became one of television's most adored personalities in the 1960s. His warm, innocent on-screen persona made him feel like a trusted family figure to audiences across America. Yet Nabors kept his personal life extremely private during the height of his fame. In an era when being openly gay could end a career overnight, many Hollywood stars chose silence. Nabors rarely discussed relationships publicly and carefully avoided rumors throughout most of his career. Decades later, attitudes began to change, and he eventually confirmed his long-term partnership. His story highlights how many beloved television figures quietly protected their personal lives while maintaining their wholesome public image. Richard Chamberlain, Dr. Kildare. In the 1960s, Dr. Kildare turned Richard Chamberlain into one of television's biggest heartthrobs. Fans saw him as the charming and dependable doctor, almost a perfect future TV dad figure. But behind the fame, Chamberlain later revealed he had spent decades hiding his sexuality because of intense pressure from Hollywood studios. At the time, actors were often warned that revealing they were gay could destroy their careers overnight. Chamberlain maintained the image of a traditional leading man for years before finally speaking openly later in life. His honesty gave fans a new perspective on the difficult choices many stars had to make in classic Hollywood. Today, his story is often cited as an example of how much the entertainment industry has changed. Raymond Burr, Perry Mason. Perry Mason made Raymond Burr a television icon. As the brilliant defense attorney, Burr projected strength, wisdom, and a quiet authority that made him feel like a father figure to viewers. However, Burr was known for keeping his private life extremely guarded. During the peak of his fame in the 1950s and 60s, studios carefully crafted the personal images of their stars. Rumors about actors' relationships were often suppressed to maintain their popularity with mainstream audiences. Burr lived with a longtime partner but rarely spoke about his personal life publicly. For decades, fans only knew the powerful lawyer they saw on screen. His story reveals how carefully controlled the public images of classic television stars once were. Dick Sargent, Bewitched. Dick Sargent became widely recognized when he joined the cast of Bewitched as Darren Stevens. The show presented him as the husband of a magical housewife, creating one of television's most famous sitcom families. At the time, few viewers knew that Sargent was living a very private personal life away from the cameras. Like many actors of his era, he avoided discussing his sexuality publicly while working in mainstream television. Years later, after social attitudes began to change, Sargent openly acknowledged who he was and even became active in advocacy work. His journey from secrecy to openness reflects the broader transformation of Hollywood and society over the decades. Paul Lynde, Hollywood Squares. Hollywood Squares made Paul Lynde one of the most recognizable personalities on American television. With his sharp wit and sarcastic humor, he became the unforgettable, center square, that audiences loved. Lynde also frequently appeared in sitcoms and often played comedic uncle or father figure roles. However, during the 1960s and 70s, Hollywood placed strict expectations on public image. Lynde's private life was something he rarely discussed openly with the media. Although many in the entertainment industry understood the truth, it remained mostly unspoken in public for years. Despite these pressures, Lynde built a successful career in television, Broadway, and film. Today he is remembered as one of classic TV's most unique comedic talents whose humor helped define an era of American entertainment. Charles Nelson Reilly, Match Game. Match Game turned Charles Nelson Reilly into a television favorite during the 1970s. Known for his colorful suits, theatrical style, and hilarious one-liners, he stood out as one of the most entertaining panelists on the show. Reilly was also an accomplished stage actor and director. During the height of his television fame, however, public discussions about actors' personal lives were often avoided if they might harm a show's popularity. Reilly maintained a carefully controlled public image while continuing to build a successful career in theater and television. Later in life, he spoke more openly about his experiences in Hollywood. His story reflects the challenges many performers faced in balancing authenticity with the realities of the entertainment industry during that era. Rock Hudson, television appearances. Although best known as a major Hollywood film star, Rock Hudson also appeared in several television projects including the series Macmillan and Wife. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, Hudson was marketed as the ultimate leading man, handsome, charming, and romantic. Studios worked hard to protect that image because it was central to his popularity. As a result, his personal life was closely managed by publicists and executives. For decades, rumors circulated in Hollywood, but nothing was publicly confirmed while his career was at its peak. Hudson remained one of the biggest stars of his generation, admired by millions of fans worldwide. His story later became one of the most discussed examples of how Hollywood once controlled the personal narratives of its biggest celebrities. Anthony Perkins, television roles. Anthony Perkins became famous worldwide for his chilling performance as Norman Bates in Psycho, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. While primarily known as a film actor, Perkins also appeared in several television productions during his career. Off-screen, Perkins was known to be intensely private about his personal relationships. In mid-20th century Hollywood, studios often encouraged actors to maintain a traditional public image regardless of their real lives. Because of this pressure, many performers avoided speaking openly about their sexuality. Perkins continued acting in both film and television for decades, becoming one of the most memorable actors associated with psychological thrillers. His career demonstrates how complicated life in Hollywood could be for stars whose identities did not fit industry expectations. Tab Hunter, 1960s television star. Tab Hunter was one of the biggest heartthrobs of the 1950s and 60s. Known for his charming looks and friendly screen presence, he appeared in several television programs and films, becoming a favorite among young fans. Studios promoted Hunter as the perfect all-American leading man, which meant his public image was carefully controlled. During that time, actors were often discouraged from revealing anything that might challenge that image. Hunter remained private about his personal life for many years while continuing to work in entertainment. Later in life, he spoke openly about his experiences and how Hollywood once forced many performers to hide who they truly were. His story provides a fascinating glimpse into the pressures that came with being a major star during classic Hollywood's golden years.